Hello students, welcome to the English class with Sonia Pandey. Today we are going to discuss and enjoy the poem The Snake Trying from Unit 9 from your book Beehive for Class 9 students. So without much ado, let us learn and understand the poem. The moment you see a snake very close to you, what would you do? Scream, cry, yell, what would you do? You would probably run away from it, or maybe you would dare to kill it without wasting a moment, right? But why would you do so? The reason is that human is always driven by his instinctual fear of snake and thinks that snake means danger, life threat, or it's like very dangerous creature, and so it has to be killed by at any cost. This is what humans think. And so they are afraid of snakes. Although there are quite many venomous snakes in the world, like you see a few of them in the slide, all snakes are not venomous, and even venomous snakes do not bite until threatened or harmed. W.W.E.Ross, through this poem, is trying to convey a message that all snakes are not poisonous. They will not bite us unless and until harmed or disturbed. If at all they bite us, they will do so only in self-defense, and most of them are non-poisonous. So, as we explore more about snakes in this poem, let us first know the poet in brief. The poet, William Wrighton Eustace Ross, was born on the 14th of June 1894 at Peterborough, Ontario, in Canada, and was pen-named as E.R. A few of his notable books are the Laconics, Irrealities, and Sonnets. The Snake Trying is a short and simple poem but conveys a deep message to the readers. In the poem, the poet is trying to say that all snakes are not poisonous. Some of them are quite harmless. They will not come by themselves to you to bite you. If they are undisturbed, snakes will not bite us. They bite us only in self-protection. They are poor creatures like any other creatures and should be admired and respected as a living creature. Now, let me recite the poem for you, and then we shall go further to discuss the content in detail. The Snake Trying by W.W.E.Ross. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick, with sudden curvings of thin long body. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes! He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away, and now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Now let us discuss this stanza wise. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick, with sudden curvings of thin long body, how beautiful and graceful are his shapes. In the first stanza, the poet says that a snake is trying to escape from a person who is chasing it with a stick to kill it. The snake, in order to escape, makes sudden curves in its body and moves quickly. This movement creates beautiful and graceful shapes which fascinates the poet. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. In these lines, the snake manages to dodge the stroke by its quick movement. He glides through the water in order to save himself. The poet seems to be pleading the man chasing the snake not to harm it and let it escape and hide behind the thicky, marshy plants without being hurt. He further mentions that this small, green-colored snake is harmless to everyone, even to children. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away, and now he vanishes in the ripples among the green, slim reeds. In the last part of this poem, the poet says that until the snake was spotted and chased away by the person holding a stick, it lay quietly in the sand. But now, when the pursuer is after it to kill it, in order to save itself, the snake disappears in the ripples of the water and hides in the camouflaging green bushes of the thin, marshy plants. So now, to conclude, we can say that the poet W.W.E.Ross, through the poem The Snake Trying, reflects the evil tendency of human beings to hurt creatures that are harmless and innocent just because of their fear. Thus, human must learn to appreciate the gifts of nature and respect every life on earth. Now, stepping to the poetic devices, let's discuss a few poetic devices used in this poem. The rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme here in this poem is absent and the poem is written in free verse. Enjambment. When one sentence continues in two or more lines without any punctuation, we call it an enjambment. And here in the poem, various lines reflect that it is an example of enjambment. Alliteration. A literary device where there is a repetition of a consonant sound into a more closely placed words is an example of alliteration. So here, he is harmless. H is the consonant sound which is repeated. Hence, is an example of alliteration. There is a phrase, pursuing stick, in line 2. What does it mean? Pursuing stick. Can a stick pursue, chase a snake? No. So here, the literary device, transferred epithet, is used. The adjective used with a noun refers to a noun other than the one with which it is used. Like for example here in this case, pursuing stick. Pursuing or chasing refers to the person who is holding the stick and not to the stick itself. Last but not the least, we have an example of imagery in the whole poem. The poet uses a certain description that is appealing to the senses. Like here, we've got a great example of visual imagery. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin, long body. It's a good example of imagery. To conclude now, students, let's come to the gist of the poem. In the poem, the poet tries to say that human beings react to snakes based on their own fears. He points out that not all snakes are poisonous. In fact, some of them are quite harmless. It is cruel to attack a snake as soon as we see it. Even if a snake is poisonous, It will do us no harm if it doesn't see any danger from us. A snake only bites in self-protection. So students, hope you have enjoyed this poem, The Snake Trying, composed by W.W.E.Ross. So students, this is all for today. Stay connected, stay tuned, learn to know and know to grow. This is Sonia Pandey signing off. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.